Have you ever wished you could have invested in Facebook 20 years ago? The best investment of our generation? Well, I invested in what I believe is going to be even bigger than Facebook. The company is called School, and I invested before Alex Hormozi put in millions of dollars. And if you want to know how to find opportunities like this, and all I invested in School before everybody else, keep watching. The first lesson I learned is that being in the right room is more valuable than anything, because proximity to success accelerates your own success. And so when I joined Sam Owen's mastermind, I wasn't thinking about investing in his company. I was there to improve my business. And I will never forget sitting in those Los Angeles offices with over 100 entrepreneurs all making at least $100K per month. Sam walks in, taps in the hammer on the table, and casually mentioned he might open up investment for School. And so the best investment opportunities aren't advertised. They are shared in closed rooms with people who have already proven themselves. If you want access to life-changing opportunities, you need to prioritize being in room where successful people gather. The second lesson was that speed of decision-making often matters more than perfect information, because the best opportunities just don't wait. When Sam announced the opportunity, he capped it at $5 million with a deadline just days away. I was in the middle of moving to Dubai and our lawyers advising caution. I asked Sam if I could have longer to think, and he simply said that it was impossible. And before going to LA, I knew Sam was a genius because he's the guy that made me really rich. And I had to decide fast based on trust and limited information, while others deliberated and spot filled up. And so every major success I've had came from making decisions faster than most would consider reasonable. You need to invest in people, not just in product, because when it comes to early stage investing, the founder matters more than the product. Because honestly, the products evolve, but exceptional founders consistently create value. And so during those 3 days in Los Angeles, I watched Sam interact with his team, which included former SpaceX engineer. And so when I asked him if he would sell for 100 millions or even 1 billion, he really hesitated, because he wasn't building School to exit. He was building it to reach 1 billion users. And what impressed me most was how Sam had bootstrapped it, invested millions of his own money first, and spent over a year finding the perfect co-founder, after interviewing over 1,000 candidates. And so when you evaluate investment, you need to spend more time, understand the founder, and analyze the product. You have to look for founders with skin in the game, and we can attract exceptional talent. Another lesson is that sometimes the people closest to you give the worst advice, because they are programmed for safety and not opportunity. And so my lawyers look at me like I was crazy. And I was pretty sure that they were thinking that this man has never invested in a startup before, and now he wants to put in a significant amount with his mentor. And they focused on the tax implication and all the way it could go wrong. And so if I had followed their advice completely, I would have missed out on one of my best investment opportunities. There is a difference between reckless decisions and calculated risk. What looks like recklessness to others is often a calculated risk based on information they don't have. The next lesson is that the best investments create returns beyond money. They build your story, your network, and your access to future opportunities. Because when I tell American entrepreneurs I invested in School before Hormozi, they immediately ask, how did you get access to that deal? And so this single investment, I position me differently in people's mind. And sometimes it's creating conversation and partnership that wouldn't have happened otherwise. While I hopeful about the financial return, maybe a 10x or 100x if Sam achieves his vision, the immediate ROI has been in relationship, capital, and positioning. When evaluating investment, ask what doors might this open? What story will it allow me to tell? And sometimes an investment with marginal financial prospects become exceptional when considering these factors. And so the biggest risk in investing isn't losing money. It's missing the opportunities that could have transformed your life. And I remember this voice inspired me to invest more in school. And I didn't listen fully because of practical concerns, tax implication, and moving money between accounts. I did invest, but not as much as my intuition suggests. And now that Hormozi has invested millions and school is gaining momentum, I recognize I could have leaned in more heavily. And this is the paradox of wealth creation. Playing it too safe is actually risky. And the truly wealthy got there by taking calculated risk, while others were thinking that they were crazy. And you need to allocate a percentage of your portfolio to high upside opportunities where your specialized knowledge gives you an edge. And your biggest regret will be the short that you didn't take.